Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you all about similar figures. So we're going to start off with the first characteristic of similar figures, and that is just to kind of discover what similar figures look like. So if we think about the word similar, we typically mean or think about the same. So when I look at this particular set of shapes, I want to see those that look similar or the same. So when I see the stars here, and I can tell that this star has 5 points and this star has 6, these guys really aren't that similar. They are similar in the fact that they have the same name, but they're not similar in the fact that they have a different number of points. So then I start to look at these other ones and I start seeing, well, these two look like they have the same angle measures. So maybe they are similar. And these guys too, they're the same shape. They are different sizes. Okay, so then I come and look at this triangle right here and this one. So the yellow and the blue rectangle, they are both rectangles, so that's a similar characteristic. However, did you notice how the bases are really wide for the yellow, but the base of the blue is really short? I don't know. I mean, it could be similar, but I'm going to bet probably not. So then we take a look at the next one, and these are both trapezoids, but notice how one of the trapezoids is double the height, or almost double the height of the first trapezoid. So that's kind of makes me think that, yeah, they're the same shape, and you're right, they're not the same size, but I don't know, they just don't look like they're really the same or similar. So I'm going to go ahead, and mainly it's just because it looks flatter, and this one looks skinnier. So let's take a look at what it should look like. So it says remove the blue rectangles to see how you did. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. Ooh, then I'm going to remove this one. Ah. So when I go back and start to take a look at it, I can see that I did a pretty good job of deciding what was similar and what was not similar. All right, so let's head down to the next one. The next one is asking us to take these similar figures and find the ones that are similar to each other. Okay, so I'm just going to start maneuvering these. I think maybe these two might be similar. Okay, they look similar. Yeah, I'm starting to think that these two are definitely similar to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over to the similar side. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this one. All right, so this one and maybe this one. Still, it kind of reminds me of this old one right here where it was too skinny or too short. I don't think that those are very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, leave that in the not similar category. And look at this one. Its orientation looks a little bit different than the other one. So I'm going to say that those probably aren't similar either. And ooh, oh, you can't even see it, but this star looks a little, uh-oh. That's not the way that it looked. Let me go ahead and press the backspace. Anytime something doesn't look the way it's supposed to look, press the backspace, okay? This one's too skinny. This one's perfect in, I think, dimension, but this one looks too skinny. So I'm not going to say that those are similar either. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these guys. Ooh, they look like they maybe, I don't know. Let's try this one. No, nope, nope. Oh, wait, look at that. That one looks like it might be similar too. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I think those guys are similar. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over. And I'm going to say the other ones probably aren't. So let's check our work. Let's see how we did. All right, let's see how we did. Da 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 da. Woohoo! Look at that. We did it correctly. All right. So guys, let's go ahead and move on from here to the next slide. So as you can see, the similar figures, they have the same shape, but they're not necessarily the same size. And there's some other characteristics that we definitely need to look at. Like for example, this one's a square and this one's a rectangle. I think that there's something to that we need to look at. And it's the fact that this one looks like an equilateral triangle versus a right triangle. Definitely characteristics that we need to explore more. So in conclusion, similar figures have the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. So the next part, similar figures, day 2. So we know that they have the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Okay, let's take a look at what we do know. The word corresponding is used to describe the parts of a figure, how they are related to the parts of a similar figure. So when we look at this, you notice how we have triangle ABC, and notice how triangle angle A and angle L, they are right on top of each other. They look like they are congruent angles. Same thing happens up here with B and M, congruent angles, and C and N, congruent angles. So that means that they have the same angle measure. So that means all 3 angles in a triangle, they should have congruent measures. So let's take a look at a few examples of that. Now, this is what you're going to be asked to do in your homework today, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at some other images first. All right, so let's take a look. It says corresponding angles of similar figures are congruent. So we're going to look at these angles specifically. So I can see that 95 right here corresponds to 95 here. But then I notice that we have 45 and 40 for this triangle and 47 and 38 for this triangle. Because they're not congruent, these are not similar. And if I could learn to write properly, you could see that better. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at another example. Let's look at the right, okay? So we have triangle that is a right angle, and everybody remembers that a right angle is 90 degrees, okay? Then we have 25 and 65, and 25 and 65. They all have congruent angles. Okay, so that means that they are similar. All right, so let's take a look at a situation where we might have to problem solve a little bit. So we have the angle 24, 111, okay, and look, 24 and 24, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other angles. So we're going to assume that maybe this angle and this angle are congruent, maybe? So what we need to figure out is if this angle right here is also 45 degrees. So let's remember the rule. The sum of all angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So that means that 111 plus 24 plus 45, if they are all congruent angles, should equal 180 degrees. So let's try that. 5, 4, and 1 makes 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 180 degrees. So that means that this angle right here is 111 degrees as well. So this, since they are all congruent, 45, 45, 111, 111, 40, 24, and 24, this is these two triangles are similar. All right, so let's try it for another one. Let's see if that works. So we're saying that this is 90, that's 45, and we don't know what this angle is right here, but we can figure it out by doing the sum of all the angles is 180 degrees. So 90 plus 45 plus some number, we'll make that x, equals 180 degrees. Okay, so let's add 90 and 45. So that's going to give us 135 plus x equals 180. Okay, let's solve that equation. Minus 135 minus 135 with our inverse operations. 45 degrees is the measure of that third angle. So this is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle, and this is a 30, 90, 30. Not congruent, is it? So these are These triangles are not similar. All right, so we've done a few examples together. Now you guys go ahead and take a look at your examples on your paper and complete it for a grade. Y'all have a great day, okay? Bye, guys.